everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Business Power Hour with Darren, Dimples, and the Music Man. Me. Hey, Dimps.
Hey, Mr. Music Man. How you doing this evening?
What's going on?
How are you?
Well, good. What's up? Two ladies. This is a true story. These two ladies at a network meeting came over to me, and he said, your show was really good, but we missed Dimples. Good evening, everybody. I just got the finger from Jim. It's all part of the story.
Right. Hey everybody, it's Darren from the Business Power Hour. I'm not going to be in the studio tonight. I'm traveling.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Except Darren's not here.
I'm here.
No,
I'm
you're
right
not
here.
Does anybody see that? Darren is not here. Darren is away.
I am right here, right next to
for
you.
a second. You're not here. What? I don't know if you got lucky.
Not the really interesting question.
That's a fantastic question, Norman.
Wow. See, I got fantastic. You just got good. I got fantastic.
Show's about him, so let's focus on that.
Were
you drinking before the show?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
There we go. We got it.
Let's go.
No, it's...
Now we got to
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Smother it.
So, I think you guys are doing that thing.
It's making noise.
It's making music.
Is it?
Yeah. That's so sweet. That's so sweet of you, Darren.
By the way, this is a Yankee station.
It's a
Thank
Yankee
you.
station. John,
Thank you.
it's a Yankee station.
All right.
Unfortunately...
We got bugs in here. What's going on?
I don't know.
Do you spray? Get an
It's
exterminator?
that time of year where you're getting bugs and stuff. As long as we don't have bees, I'm good.
Yeah, all right. That's...
But...
We have a lot of undulations out in the field. Undulations.
Is that a wine?
What
the hell is undulation?
Fred, don't use big words. Hey, right? So this...
Help.
I gotta get him a cough button, Jim. What do you think?
A cough
Because-
button would be a good idea. Consider that a good question that he asked?
Great
There you go.
There
There's
you go.
a
I
good
got
question.
Pythons and brains.
You're double D?
I'm double D. Show's about him, so let's focus on that.
Hey, give me some. Give me some. Give me some loving.
How are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm
this week.
absolutely convinced. I'm absolutely convinced that
telling
you
you.
got some kind of brain damage when you had that thing last year.
I'm telling you that, and he called.
It's not classy, but classy.
Seeing interviews by Darren and the Music Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Siafi and Norman Wasserman.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Welcome to our Wednesday edition. It's Wednesday, right?
Wednesday. Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday evening.
Yes.
It's so
It's
light
Wednesday
outside.
evening. Well, you know what it is. Summertime is coming. Spring is here. You know, all that good
Yeah, we have
stuff.
a
It's all
beautiful
good.
day today again.
Oh, what a gorgeous day
Gorgeous
today.
day.
But listen, I need to clear something up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's because of my dear, lovely partner here. I was in a meeting today with a client and somebody else that was also consulting this client. And he then proceeded to tell the client that I have 8 horses, I have a racetrack, I have an airplane, right? I don't have any of these things. So I just want to make it clear. Yeah, I don't have any of these things. And I don't, I'm tired of people asking me about the horses.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
tired of people.
Should we
asking me
change it
about
to cows?
No, I don't have any of these things.
I mean, you don't have it anymore because you just sold it.
Yeah, I just...
and you're moving on to bigger and better things. But you know what also? Okay, now I know you don't have it loaded up, but Saturday night we had a phenomenal show. Really, really great show. Probably
I don't have it loaded up.
Since
because I've asked 3 people and they said no.
Yeah, absolutely not. even Burnett. There was a horn player who played sax and clarinet. That was your duplicate. As you know, if you had a younger brother,
right,
which you may, if you have a younger brother, this was your younger brother. The hair coloring, the dimples, the face, the whole 9 yards, the black shirt. He had it. He had it all.
Oh, he had a black shirt.
He had a black shirt also, and short cropped haircut, and whatever. You know,
this haircut isn't short cropped. I'm bald.
I was being nice. So anyway, you know who's also nice?
I know my friend Andrea Pass.
She's not your friend. She's my friend. You didn't even know her till now.
No, actually, listen,
we better do good because
we have a long-standing 15-minute relationship. She could bury us.
She could bury us, so she could make us superstars.
Exactly.
So let's bring her out before she gets angry and pissed off. There she is, smiling face.
Welcome to the business.
You are so welcome to be here, Princess. Absolutely welcome.
Hello to my new 2 best friends.
There we go.
How are you, Andrea?
Great. I'm just wondering, with the guy in the Billy Joel band who was playing sax, was he playing sax like Mark Rivera or playing sax like Richie Canada?
Canada.
Oh, you're going back.
Yeah, he was
Rivera's like amazing though. Canada was great. Rivera. No, exactly. I'm a Billy Joel fan. It's the only artist I could talk intelligently about.
Well, in that case, when it comes time, that's going to be your group.
It is my group. I'm totally Billy Joel all the way.
It will be my pleasure. Anyway, welcome to us, Andrew. What is the name of your company?
I'm with Andrea Pass, Public Relations. You can't mistake that it's mine.
And you're in public relations for about how long now?
Oh gosh, Norman, you always want me to give away my age, but I've been in public relations
on our own.
Well, let me ask you this, Andrea, so you don't have to answer that right now. Okay.
You do.
We'll get back to that. But first, what does Andrea Pass Public Relations do?
She's a baker.
No, but public relations, like a doctor, you could have a ton of different specialties in public relations.
Okay, what's
you're right. And my specialty is traditional press outreach. I'm responsible for securing press coverage for my clients in print, online, broadcast, to keep my clients relevant by having media coverage, press coverage of them, because that gives them third-party editorial endorsement. It's called earned media. You're not buying it like an ad. You are being quoted in the press, interviewed in the press. Your products are being featured, your book reviewed. I make sure the press is talking about you, so that grows your brand awareness, grows your thought leadership, and drives sales using the press to do so.
Okay, so wow, I don't know what that was. I have always heard that any press is good press. Is that true?
No, you want to make sure that you are managing the press. Because of relationships that I have with the media, if someone is reviewing a product, for example, and they were going to give it a bad review, many times they'll say to me, Andrea, my choice is I give it the bad review or I don't post the review at all. And I say, don't post the review at all. Because you don't want to have bad reviews, especially when it comes to a product, a book, or a service. So you want to make sure that it's positive press. Listen, there are crisis communication situations. A warehouse might have a fire, or there might be a faulty product, and you address that. And in PR, we address those negatives. But
so whoa, what is that?
I don't know. I think this is too loud.
If on the reverse side, you do things to promote, and promote's a good word in a positive way. What happens if it's like Darren just asked about negative promotion? Can you get rid of negative Facebook and those kind of things that may appear?
I am not in social media. I'm not a social media guru. I am a public relations, traditional press guru. So
you deal with TV and newspaper, newsprint and magazines and those type of things, right?
Exactly. And so when you're doing an interview, I'm prepping you before that interview. So you know your message points, you know what you want to talk about, and you know how to stay focused and on target with that message. However, if a reporter brings up something negative, my clients are instructed to move past that and bring up something positive. So I prep my clients, and when I can be on a call with my clients, if it's a newspaper interview and we're doing it over a phone or Zoom, I can interject and offer the positive notes, so we're not focusing on negative. I had a client.
So you actually go with your clients to these events and kind of like sitting there. You're the spin doctor, so to speak, right? Where
I look at that as a negative term because I like to think of
Okay.
my clients as being all positive. But for
He
instance,
didn't mean to be rude. He was just
No, I didn't mean. I wasn't being rude.
he
I
was putting his own spin on it.
Was that
so,
supposed
so
to
the thing is, when a PR person represents the Kardashians or something like that, and now I'm getting that feedback, then okay, they have to put a spin on something.
Mhm.
Celebrities, there's a spin. But for the average business person, and I work with business people, I work with people who have a product or a service or a book. They're business people. They're not celebs. We want to make sure that we're telling a positive story and we're working on that positive story. We don't have to put a spin on it because it's positive. I had a client a number of years ago who had filed previously for Chapter 11. Okay, that happened, but that was part of his success story of how he rose above filing for Chapter 11 and almost losing his home and where he was today. So we take those stories and we want it to be positive. And I'm all about positivity in the press.
Well, and that's my point, is that in today's day and age, positivity seems to be the last thing that you see in the news and not necessarily up front, right? And something they want to jump on.
Yeah, I mean, but keep in mind, there's heartbreaking news. That's, in PR, there's that you can't control a message in heartbreaking news. If there's a fire, there's a fire. If there's, God forbid, a shooting, there's a shooting. They're reporting what happened. I'm dealing with clients that have more evergreen content. They're business people. They have a story about their business, why their business is important. Their business might be health and wellness, or as an entrepreneurial coach, or what have you. So they're going to have a different story. It's not breaking news. And that's where it's important to understand when I'm out pitching the press, if there's breaking news, that's going to override anything I'm doing that's evergreen and could be a story that can happen anytime. So
Question
it's
for you.
important to find those opportunities.
Question for you. Why does negativity outsell positivity? When you're listening to the news, whatever, like Darren said, you very rarely do you hear anything good anymore. People just hear all this negativity, no matter what it is.
You have to understand there's a difference between news and public relations. Okay, so if you were talking today to someone who reports on the news, they would tell you one story. I'm not in that world. I'm reporting on my client's news. So, when you turn on the evening news at night, unfortunately, we're going through a very negative time in our country. However, we have to look at positivity. And I look at positivity when I'm pitching my clients and when I'm reaching out to broadcast outlets or news outlets, print, online, podcasts, what have you. We're telling a positive story. So I'm going to focus on a positive story for public relations.
Okay, so my question for you is, I come to you, right? I'm an accountant. I'm a business coach. I help businesses grow. What would be the process you would go through with me? And I say, Andrea, I want to really do a campaign. I need your help. I'm going to engage you to do this. Walk me through the process. How do you go about identifying what the positives are with me?
Well, first I have to learn about your company. So with any new client, I learn about your company, I learn about you, I learn about your backstory. So a good public relations person is going to spend the time to get to know their client before they're out there pitching their client. So I would learn, what is your angle? What are you good at? What are you an expert at? What are the messages we want to get across? And then we start pitching there. For instance, I'm working right now with a gentleman who is a doctorate in psychology. He's written 25 books on positive self-talk. How many times are we talking negatively? We need to talk positively. And I guess I'm on this positive kick right now, but he's put me in that direction. And so I'm taking his expertise. And for example, I'm reaching out to parenting media because we need young people, children, adolescents, teens, to learn positive self-talk. So each angle is going to be different. If I'm talking about an accountant, what are some tips that you should be doing year-round for your finances? How do you prepare for submitting your taxes. We have an extension on filing for taxes. What do you need to do? What papers do you keep and not keep? What are the tips that you offer? So those kind of things, I would work with an accountant, a business coach. How are you helping this person? What does this person need to do? What does a business coach bring to the table to help you grow your business? What's the right way to grow your business? How do you meet people? I mean, listen, I've learned a lot about developing relationships, because relationships ultimately lead to referrals that lead to the revenue. But you have to have the relationship first. For a person who's a salesperson, if you oversell, you're not going to make them happy. So I work with my clients to come up with the right way to tell their story to appropriate media.
So you help them develop the story that's going to go out the door. It's not, you wouldn't engage me and I would say, here, Andrea, this is the story I'm going to go out and tell. I would tell you that story and you would go, okay, let's modify it. Let's change it up, because, and what you do is you then go find the audience for that story.
Exactly. But also it's important that you understand as the client, who's the audience you want to reach.
Right.
So first, who's your appropriate demographic? And I was talking to someone, the other day about this, and they were thinking their demographic was everyone. And I said, no, your demographic, they were looking for pretty much the 40, 50 and older crowd. I said, the particular product that they had, 20-year-olds, teenagers had no interest in that. So, you're not reaching that audience. You want to reach the right audience. And I work with some experts who are very into this targeted audience approach. And I do the same. I'm not going to take a story. I had an author contact me who said, I just want to hire you to get my book in People magazine. And I said, well, you're a first-time author and you're self-publishing. People magazine only takes books from major publishing houses. And there's a process that they're receiving that book 3+ months before it even hits the shelves. Your book is coming out in 4 weeks and you haven't done any press.
Right.
And so she wasn't happy with me, and we're not going to work together, which is okay, because I'm going to, as a public relations person, I have to set expectations. And I don't want to work with someone who's going to be unrealistic and say, oh, I only want to be in People magazine. You're not getting in People magazine unless you're a celebrity.
That's the greatest challenge that I have. It's the same thing. Because I do that also. We work with our clients to get that targeted approach, because what I had found was when you shotgun it, you're serving the wrong type of client for yourself. And and I call it shotgunning because, like you said, I want everything, everybody is my market. The other one I always hear is, I have no competition. Well, yeah, you do. Because they're solving that problem somehow. It may not be the way you're delivering it. They may be solving it, but they're solving that problem that they have. You may have a different way of doing it.
But that depends really about what the industry happens to be and the way the world is going on.
I've seen it in so many different industries. And every time somebody wants to solve a problem, they come up with a different way to solve it. And they go, okay, I don't have any competition. And yeah, they do, because they've been solving that problem different ways. They may have the best way to, or easiest way, or a simpler way to do it, but somewhere down the line, they've been solving that problem. And
exactly. And I always say to people, Google yourself.
Yes.
Okay? Start out by Googling yourself and see what's out there about you that you didn't write. Okay, so that means not your website, not your blog, not your social media. What is out there that someone else is saying about you to give you that third-party editorial endorsement? What press coverage have you gotten? Well, if you haven't gotten any, now Google your competitor. There is a competitor, whether you're a tax accountant, a lawyer, a health coach, a personal trainer, you're a makeup artist or what have you, you have competition. Google them and see what they're putting out directly and what's being put out about them in the press that's third-party coverage.
So you don't do SEO stuff, but based on what you're just saying here is that by going into these media outlets, because all these media outlets are posting this stuff on the internet, you're actually creating SEO content for your clients.
100%. I say to my clients, and I make sure I provide to them that interview. So once the interview airs or runs or they're quoted or there's a review, I make sure I'm finding all of the websites and social media sites that featured that. But I'm making sure that those media outlets know how to tag my clients on social. Because if they tag my clients incorrectly, or they don't know how to tag my clients, then we're losing out on potential opportunities. So I want them to tag my clients effectively. And then I give this to my client, and my client can post it on their social media, tag the media outlet that ran that, or the reporter, or what have you. And that's helping everybody's SEO. That's helping everybody's engagement. So there's more to all of these articles and interviews and placements and product reviews. You want people to engage on your social media about those things. So I encourage my clients to make sure they're engaging their colleagues, their family, their friends. Engagement has become what the world is about. And if you're not on the right social media networks for yourself or your client, then you're missing out on engagement in those potential audiences. And that's all part of public relations.
About 34, that sounds like a dog barking.
It does sound like a dog
Right?
barking.
About 34 years ago, I did my first concert. There was no computer. There was no nothing. And I was out there doing the best I can to make it happen. And I wound up making it happen. But I found out, and what I do in Friend Entertainment is I've all the negative things that happened to me on the first two shows that I did, I now handle in my office. So when you want to do a concert with me, I will get you a talent. I don't send you to a talent agent or manager or whatever to go get and negotiate talent. I take care of your advertising. I don't send you anywhere, and so on and so forth. So it's all in-house, because I learned my lesson how you financially can get screwed and whatever, because you don't know any better.
And you have a really good point, Norman, because you have to recognize what you know and what you don't know. How many times do people say, oh, I could do that myself? Well, they can't do it themselves, because if you could do it yourself, you would have done it yourself already. And I get a kick out of the people who say, well, I don't need a public relations person. I could just call up my local TV station. They're going to want to feature me. No, you're going to annoy them. They're going to make sure that you are banned. You don't want to be annoying. And I think that to understand, I say, I wouldn't do my own dental work. I wouldn't cut my own hair. I go to the dentist. I go to the beauty salon. There are things you have to understand that you can do and you can't do. And in your case, you can put together amazing concerts and great programs. In my case, I can put together effective public relations campaigns.
Right. And I just want to just quickly, we got a lot of people, a lot of people saying hello tonight. I want to say hi to my brother, John. I think it's the first time he's actually watching.
Hi, John.
And of course, Brittany Anderson Brittany is in Washington,
the state of
Washington. She's a regular viewer. Pink positive, Brittany. Always pink positive.
We have a question for you. Do you do searches for media looking for, what'd you do? You just got rid of it.
Put it there.
Okay.
Put it on the screen.
Looking for a comment. Do you do searches for media looking for a comment?
So let me explain the two ways that I do public relations. Proactively, I subscribe to a lot of databases, newsletters, private groups, what have you. So I am researching, and pitching. So I'm doing that proactively. Reactively, I subscribe to a lot of databases, newsletters, and groups that reach out to PR people like me and say, we're writing this story or we're doing this segment. Do you have someone who can comment on XYZ? So yes, it's done both ways. So certainly, if you are an expert in something, it's great to get your name out there and making sure the news stations know about you if there is a problem in that area. But if you've got comments on something, then yes, I reach out to the press to say you can offer commentary for the next article or segment that they're doing. So PR is proactive and reactive.
So you mentioned before about Googling yourself and finding things. So Chris Gannon, he went and Googled me, and all he could see are my horses. That's what he says. That's not true. I don't have any horses.
Look,
But
it's,
thanks,
the
Chris. I
world
appreciate
knows
that.
about what's going on with you. I bet if you Google Darren's name right now,
You're
right
not,
now, Andrea,
you're not going to find any
will say
horses.
I'm gonna stay focused
entrepreneur.
on talking to you guys.
Sorry.
I'm going to stay focused on talking to you guys. I'm not going to multitask.
Okay, you don't have to do that.
Who is saying good evening team to us?
I'm not sure who that is, but whoever it is,
Thank you.
thank you.
And who's Godfather show? Do you know someone that's it says
No.
welcome to my Godfather show?
Whose goddaughter calls in all the time, and her whole family watches the show from Texas. Yeah, so Heatherly, Josh, Tosh, Anthony. I always call him Anthony. He doesn't like when I
One
call
of
him
our visitors to our show on a weekly basis, and while we do business with them, wants to get in touch with you to discuss business.
Let's definitely, Chris, let's definitely connect. And for any of your viewers, they can find me at AndreaPassPR.com. And we can then schedule a time to.
You know what? The conversation's been going so fast and furious, Andrea. I forgot all about that. To get in touch with Andrea, you can go to AndreaPassPR.com.
I'm interrupting you, Darren.
Okay.
There's typos. You spelled my name wrong.
Oh wow, yeah, right there. It's Andrea Pass Andrea, not Andrea.
I think you're gonna have to fix that. Andrea Pass Public Relations on
Right.
Facebook.
On Facebook.
I got to check your work all the time.
I tell you, man, it's, you know what? Fire me.
Al Madlinger is online. Yeah. Al is the lead singer from the John Fogerty group, which is CCR, and we're doing a concert with him in the middle of the month. Welcome, Al. Brian Cohn.
Yeah, Brian's on.
See, now you should get in touch. Also, Brian should be in touch with you. That's another business lead for you.
Yeah, Brian's a great connector. He's an absolutely great connector. Great guy. Mark Puccio is also on. Mark, give me a call, Mark. I know you got something coming up in June. Maybe
we will help.
We'll help you publicize it. So give me a call. Okay, so you see a lot. I mean, it's amazing how many people. Wow, you got a lot of people that are just asking all kinds of great questions tonight. So here's my question. Well, let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to open the phones up. So anybody who wants to ask a PR question or has a question about working with the media and actually how to get their name out there, call in. But we're going to take this quick break, and we'll be right back.
And there'll be no charge for the phone call. Just call in. Andrea will certainly answer your question.
We'll be right back right after these messages.
Thank you. Hey everybody, it's Norman from Friend Entertainment USA and Virtual Tribute Concerts. I got some breaking news. If I sound a little bit excited, it's because I am. And you can see I'm wearing one of my nice glitter jackets for on stage. And the reason why I'm wearing this jacket is because the Cure, the Friend Entertainment Fundraising Cure, it's official, it's live, it's well. We lived through it, we got it going. Concerts all over the country, concerts all over the world. Virtual concerts from Friend Entertainment USA and Virtual Tribute Concerts. We are there. Our next show is coming up. Neil Diamond going to be in a couple of weeks. Tune in, Friend Entertainment USA, 631-698-9696. If you are a charity, if you are a not-for-profit organization, you haven't done fundraising in 6-7 months, I got you. We got this done. I can do it for you. How do I know? We found a solution. I just got finished doing 2 very successful shows. And our next one is
Look at me, I could be 17.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel like daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
Okay, and welcome back to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man, and Darren with his horses, which we're not going to talk about, and our special guest, Andrea Pass. And I have to make
Andrea Pass, not Andrea Patch.
And I have to make.
I'm sorry.
I have
Andrea.
to make a little change there. The commercial that you watched was a bit old, and it mentioned about Neil Diamond coming up. So I know my SEO person is watching the show tonight, and I've only asked you about a dozen times to please change that. So while you're watching the show, don't tell me that I didn't mention it to you again. So please make the change.
You probably dropped off already. All right, so we're back with Andrea Pass, public relations, and her specialty is getting you into print, TV, radio, podcasts,
magazines,
getting you that type of exposure. If you want to ask any question of Andrea, call in now, 631-619-7500. That's 631-619-7500. Give us a call, ask a question. If you need to know how to get your name out there the right way, and I mean the right way. Don't just think, okay, I'll put something out on Facebook Live and everybody in the world's going to see it. That's not necessarily true, right? Andrea, it depends on your market and where you want to go, and she's the expert to do that.
Now, Al Mandlinger, who I just talked about, has another business besides singing, and he wants to get in touch with you. So see how this is working? So I'm going to give Al your phone number, and hopefully he'll get in touch with you too.
So somebody just mentioned, I think it was Brian Cohen.
He says I emailed her already.
I emailed her already. So somebody
that was Chris. Chris already emailed.
Oh, Chris. That was Chris.
I saw that. So if you go to
Andrew, your price is going up. Just want to let you know your price is going to go up next trip. Just giving you a little heads up.
Please check out AndreaPassPR.com and you can book an appointment there, or you can send me an email straight through my website, and that way we can connect and I can talk about your business personally instead of as a group. Of course, fix that, Andrea Pass Public Relations with a DANDREA for my Facebook. So please connect with me and make sure you let me know that you met me through Business Power Hour.
Does anybody get a special discount, or do we get a discount if that happens? Okay, you don't have to answer that question.
No, Andrea,
let's just focus on the general.
In my defense,
you don't have any defense.
Before the show, I actually tried to show it to you, and for some reason you couldn't see it.
No.
Right. So, I think he set me up somehow.
It could have been. No worry. Everyone who's watching and truly wants to find me will find me.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrea. They definitely will. They definitely will find you. So, yeah, I mean, look, we have a lot of fun with this stuff, but this is actually very serious stuff. And it's so important from a business perspective that you put the right spin on, and I don't want to say spin because I know it's a negative term in your thing.
Let me give you an example. One of my clients is an inventor. She invented two products, the Cabinet Caddy, which helps you with your space in your cabinets in your kitchen. And go hang it. It's actually something that helps you hang pictures up straight, which is a huge problem.
Right.
So I started doing press for her. And in the meantime, she was obviously doing trade shows, getting the word out, trying to get meetings. We were at the hardware show in Las Vegas at the convention center. I was able to get her a spot on a pitch panel to pitch Home Depot. Lo and behold, afterwards they wanted to talk to her. She sent them all the clips, all the links with press reviews about her products. That boosted her up, and now Go Hang It is in homedepot.com. So getting the press out there, getting that recognition, you're looking to eventually do a speaking engagement. Let's make sure there's press about you, because if there's nothing showing that you can present yourself, that you can speak, why would someone then take you for a speaking engagement? You want to be on a TV show. Well, why don't you do a podcast first so you can show them you're comfortable in front of the camera and you're comfortable when things go a little crazy, like you hear a dog barking or there's a weird noise or whatever. So they want to see these things. So you got to be in it to win it. I know it's corny, but there are ways, and you should start public relations yesterday. As soon as you have a website, as soon as you have your social media pages up, and as soon as you have a business, a product, a service, or a book, you are ready for public relations. You are not ready if you do not have those things.
Okay, so a lot of small business owners, they'll get their website going, they'll get their product going, they'll have all of that stuff, but they may not have the cash that is really needed to hire a professional like you. How can they get started? How can they get that first little nibble on, hey, somebody wrote something about me?
Well, start with your friends, start with your colleagues, and see who has a blog, who has a podcast. Start with those folks and get featured on those folks. And then, what do you read? What are you, did you know we absorb about 11 hours of content a day on average? How many times are we watching TV and scrolling on our phones, or we're on our computer and we're reading a blog? And we're doing, we're absorbing content. So what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Use it, to reach out to someone and say, hey, I have this story. I'd love for it to be featured, on your site. Or I think this would work well in your newspaper column. So you can do those things on your own. Don't over follow up. Don't drive the press crazy, because they won't want to work with you then. Okay. And also, let me just add this. Also, do not be tone deaf. If there is some breaking news in the world, that is not the time for you to be pitching your story. Pay attention. I had a story that someone was pitching the press on January the 6th. Really? The press was not focused on your story about your business. We had major national news happening. Don't be tone deaf. That was the day to stop working and watch TV. It wasn't the day to pitch your story.
Okay, so I just lost my question. I had a really good question for you. That's all right. But, if you got somebody, and this is the thing is, I say about getting the press. So getting out to somebody, the key is, and what I'm hearing from what you're saying is having somebody else who's not related to you talk about you.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Exactly. So find someone. In your neighborhood, do you have a Daily Voice or a Tap Into, one of those hyper local blogs? Reach out to them. See if they'll do a story about your business.
That's what I was I was just trying to get, like, we have, if you remember the Penny Saver and, small papers like that.
However, I had a call with someone a few weeks ago. She said to me, yeah, I've got to hire a virtual assistant. I'm going to get so much business. I sent a letter to the local weekly newspaper, and I said, and they're going to run it. I said, did you talk to them about running your press information? No, but because I sent it, I'm in the town, they're going to run it. I said, well, it doesn't quite work that way. And you're not going to get this influx of business, aside from the fact that her email didn't work and she didn't have a working telephone number. I said, so get your business in order before you think that sending a press release, the local papers, I don't know about your local paper, but my local paper, and I read it every week religiously. The articles are then also from the daily newspaper. It's owned by the same people. So the articles they run are from the daily paper from days ago. They're not running a lot of local news because there's not enough advertising to support it. The number of pages has gone down because the number of people advertising in print has gone down. So don't assume that because you have a penny saver or a weekly throwaway that they're going to take your news. But if you're going to send them your news, 3 or 4 short paragraphs that are not sales. They don't want sales. They want information. You launched your business. You won an award. You had a promotion. Those kind of things get press.
So would you say being on a podcast like this, the Business Power Hour, is good press?
100% it's good press. Because the thing is what we're talking about here on the Business Power Hour is evergreen. It's not targeted, even though you're targeted to a concert that might come out up on a certain day. Our discussion about public relations is not about a specific day. It's evergreen content. So I can take this interview and I can put it up on my website and put it on my social media pages. And I can do it again in 3 months. And I can do it again in 6 months.
We have people that come back 3-4 times a year.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about I could rerun this episode. I don't need to be a guest again, even though I'd love to be. But I could rerun this on my social media because I get new followers on social. Also, people might just be looking, what is she posting? And no one's going to know that we had this conversation on a specific date in a specific year.
There's a young lady who just sent in a message a few moments ago, and she says, "Hi, Norman. This young lady just happened to buy a franchise. So she's a new franchisee, and I'm going to see her tomorrow about that, and also about that she wants to do a concert. My question to you is, are you allowed to work with franchise organizations, or does the franchise organization kind of like stop you with what you want to do?"
Yeah, I mean, you as a franchise owner have to find out that information. I don't work with anyone who has to go through a compliance department because of the fact that they're not going to let an individual person who's part of that larger corporation do press on their own without following the message points from corporate. Right. So when it comes to franchisees, there are different franchise rules based on the franchise. So I'd recommend that she does the research to find that out, to see if she's got to go through corporate to be able to announce a grand opening or a sale or a special event or whatever is happening at that location. So each situation will be different, but I can't work with a financial planner or a mortgage broker or someone through a bank that has many offices, because they have to deal with compliance, and I don't want to deal with them, because when I get a press interview, I don't want to have to waste time going up the chain of command to see, can we do the interview? By the time they get back to you, I've lost the interview. So
we do the same thing.
It's not about working with those, huge companies or people who have to deal with compliance. So I've set my public relations firm up so that I'm working with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses, authors, product people, what have you.
So the business owner, and we all know business owners need this, right? You got these small business owners, they're trying to grow, they're trying to figure this stuff out. Other than engaging you to represent me, is there any other things that you offer in order to educate me on how to become a more visible person?
Certainly with my clients, I'm spending a lot of time on that education, but I've also been doing a lot of webinars and seminars and guest speaking. In fact, I have a group that I put together called Resonate to Revenue, and we do complimentary webinars every few months about communications related topics. So our next one is April 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to be discussing messaging, because messaging is important. It's key to your communication, and it's key to public relations, social media, virtual events, speaking engagements. So Resonate to Revenue, and that is April 29th, and I'll have information on that on my LinkedIn page so that anyone can register. It's open to anyone across the country. We've been very excited. This is our third Resonate to Revenue, and I met some folks through networking, and we decided to start this webinar series. So I am constantly educating people about public relations because most people don't even know what it is. They think it's advertising. It's
Right.
not. Advertising you pay for, public relations is earned. Advertising, you control the message. Public relations, you can't control the message.
But do you get business owners that are like, well, I'm paying you for it, so isn't that advertising?
They can say, no one's really said that to me actually, but they're paying me because I have the expertise and the know-how to secure press coverage for them and keep them relevant. When you
But
have
isn't
it
that the same as
outside,
advertising?
no, advertising is you're designing an ad. You're buying an ad and you know it's going to run this day at this time on this TV station or radio station or newspaper or magazine, or it's going to be, an ad on this on Facebook or wherever it's going to be. In my case, I'm getting you earned media. Everyone knows the difference.
But that earned media will hopefully relate to additional sales.
That's the goal, but you can't. It can't
Exactly.
be one and done.
Right. So to me, that's like advertising. I know.
I'm just and we don't have to get into this huge debate over it, but I just wanted to point out the fact that a lot of people misconstrue really what you're presenting and what you're doing to just saying, hey, I'm going to buy a Facebook ad, and I'm going to put an ad up on Facebook and just put it out there, because the difference is you're pinpointing where it's going. When you're buying an ad, you're pinpointing the platform it's going out on, but you're not necessarily pinpointing the audience you're going to hit and the message that you're going to do.
I can't speak to that because I don't have an expertise in advertising.
And that's
I have an expertise in public relations, and it's important to stay relevant and to be out there and to have your service, product, what have you, nonprofit talked about.
So one of the things I did need, let's go back to the Resonate to Revenue, right? That's coming up April 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can go to Andrea's LinkedIn page and actually find, sign up for it. And that's Andrea_Pass_PR. Watch that because she's going to be putting out links and that type of stuff. But how much are you charging for that course?
It's a complimentary webinar. So Resonate to Revenue is all about a group of communications folks giving back to our business community. And
so all those business owners that are like, I really can't afford to hire somebody like that, or are not sure about how to handle it, they can actually go to this and learn and get to know you a little bit better. And then they can, look, guys, reach out to Andrea anyway. Ask the questions. I always tell my clients this. The worst anybody can say to you is no. So, it's ask the question. Am I right for you? And you said it before in the very beginning.
I'm going to help you again. We're going to help you again. If you send me a link, I will post your event on my website, on my Facebook page.
I will do that. I will definitely do that, because it's very interesting to find that many business people are not allocating funds in their budget for marketing topics. And you need to, because how is anyone going to know about you? It's not, they're going to know, they're going to find me. They're not going to find you if you're not out there. And even as an example, when you're participating in networking calls, a lot of these Zoom networking calls, make sure you've got your pitch really fine-tuned. Make sure you have your information about your company pre-written so there are no typos, so you can cut in the chat.
And listen, I'm an accountant. I when it comes to spelling, I'm not taking any.
Yeah, that's all right. Darren, you're gonna owe me forever. And but it's make sure you're always promoting yourself. You're always publicizing yourself. So your presentation on any screen, you're selling. And you should understand that public relations and getting press coverage is an important method of a marketing mix. And start saving up now so that you can do this starting in January.
Have you ever had a PR company do some work on you?
I do my own press. So I consider myself a client of mine. Okay. I spend time on publicizing myself like I'm doing right now. So if you Google me, You're going to see that I've done all these interviews or I'm quoted places because I want my clients to see I'm doing it for myself. I can do it for you. And it's almost like who was Remington when he bought the shaver company. I know he loved this razor, and I'm dating myself back in the olden days, but he loved this razor so much that he bought the company. And it's that same thing. You have to be good at what you do, and you should do that for yourself. So obviously, if you're a CPA, you're going to do your own accounting and your own taxes. You're not going to send that out to someone else. If you're a health coach, you're going to eat or exercise in the way that you're training others to do so as well. So in PR, I make sure I'm publicizing Andrea Pass Public Relations as a client.
Do you have
I just Googled Andrea. She's got horses.
Excellent.
I've only been on a horse 2 times, up at the Rocking Horse Ranch in upstate.
Rocking Horse Ranch, very famous. I
went on this horse named Morgan. I asked for the oldest horse possible because I was terrified out of my mind. So they gave me the oldest horse, and I'm clippity-clopping really slow. And the following year I went back and I asked for the same horse. And then my nephews went about a year before the pandemic, and they said that Morgan was no longer there. So that's my experience with horseback riding. So I'm going to
can you tell us your biggest success story?
Oh my goodness. My most favorite, if someone can say what's your placement of a lifetime, I secured a double segment on ABC 2020 for a client. I represented an as seen on TV product company, and we would travel the country doing pitch-a-thons. Think of Shark Tank, but with real people who really want to get a chance to get somewhere with their products. And I had pitched 2020 a number of times, didn't hear back. And then randomly one day, a guy calls me and says, "This sounds interesting. Tell me more about this." And I did. And he and I are in touch all these years later. And they came with me to Chicago 2020 to be there for a pitch-a-thon. They were in New Jersey at my client's office. We then went to New York City to do some more taping. And then they came down to Florida, where we were shooting an infomercial. And they ended up postponing the segment a few months, and I was pretty upset. And when they told me the reason they postponed it was now a double segment with a commercial break in the middle. So I've had a lot of great press, the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox and Friends, the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, etc. But that double 2020 segment was just, I still glow when I talk about it.
Well, it sounds like we've had a lot of success in this. But you know what we didn't do, and what we always do, and you know what? It's your fault. We always talk about, how did you get into public relations? We didn't even touch on that.
Right. I'll give
She's so outgoing in person. She was PRing herself for the whole hour.
But I was always the publicity person back in high school. I was writing the press release and mailing it to the local newspaper, and I was hanging up flyers and posters all around town. And I went to college for broadcasting. I wanted to be the next Dan Rather. And so I studied radio, TV, film. I was the news director at the radio station. And after graduation, I walked into CBS in New York in my little blue suit with a little bow tie that was attached to your shirt, my little blue pumps, and my little brown briefcase that had my initials engraved in it. And I went to CBS, and in those days, every woman had to take a typing test. And so I got a job at CBS for Woman's Day magazine because there was a freeze in broadcasting. And then when the freeze lifted, I got a job doing PR for the CBS radio division. Then I interviewed to be one of Dan Rather's assistants, got called back for the interview and said, "I don't want to be someone's assistant." And then I had a chance to be on the news desk nights and weekends. I won't even tell you how little they were willing to pay me. And I gave it a lot of thought. And I said, I love PR. I was already working in PR and in public relations. I could also have a white picket fence lifestyle. And, I'm happily married for 33 years. I have 2 amazing children, and live in the suburbs, involved in volunteerism, and I still have this terrific career. So I made the right decision to stay in public relations.
So that's fantastic. You were saying, if you would have took a different track in your career, you wouldn't have had the life balance that you have now. See, that's fantastic. That's a great story. And that's one of the things that I'm always trying to teach my clients is life balance. It's all about the life balance because you can't enjoy yourself unless you got that life balance.
Yeah, and I have to say, I just look at our kids, and they're learning that from us. They've learned that, and they understand, you need time for yourself. You need to take a vacation. You need to have a hobby and some friends. It's great to have a career, and I'm so proud of both of my children. They have amazing careers, but they also have amazing lives, and that's even more important.
How have you persevered during COVID?
I've been working from a home office for over 6 years now. So me, zigging and zagging has been really the same. So I've worked from a home office, very happy about that. So I don't travel to trade shows and to client meetings. We see each other on Zoom. And so it's fine. The change has been the change in the press, because we have amazing breaking news constantly between politics and shootings and lawsuits and COVID. Because of all of these, there are less press opportunities in the major outlets. However, many homegrown journalists have arrived, and there are more opportunities in those. So I've just zigged and zagged, but I've stayed very busy during COVID, in addition to the fact of I started my own networking group called Our Virtual Lunch Club, and that's a real exciting thing for me.
Don't forget, I want the invite for that.
I sent you one, which it was today, and we'll send you another one for next month.
He's the king in networking, Norman is.
I have to tell you, what's great about my networking group is different because we bring in a nationally known speaker. So we don't have anyone speaking from the group. It's someone outside the group we had an author today who spoke about selling with authentic persuasion. And he teaches us something, he or she, speaker, and then we do breakout rooms where we then discuss a topic we were taught. So that's how you're getting to know other people. And then if you click with someone or you see someone in the chat, then you schedule your one-on-one, talk to them later. But our networking group isn't about the elevator pitch. If you don't know your elevator pitch by now and you can't discuss what you do in 3 words, you got to move on.
I would like to attend next Wednesday. I had another one scheduled for today, which is a ritual for me, but I would like to attend yours.
I will send you the latest information on Our Virtual Lunch Club. And we have a group on LinkedIn as well. So that's a lot of fun. I'm also on the board of the New Jersey Association of Women Business Owners, which, phenomenal women that have all types of businesses, everyone from the high school dropout to the PhD, and all of them have successful businesses. And we all have such different backgrounds that it's phenomenal to be able to bounce ideas and learn from one another. So I'm always out there. It's a lot of fun. I met such great people during these pandemic times. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have met you. And I'm so glad I have colleagues and buddies and friends all across the country now, and even across the pond. And I've been on networking groups in the UK, which is just loads of fun.
Nice.
So Andrea, we're right up against the hour. I told you it was going to go fast. So one more time, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Please visit my website, AndreaPassPR.com, and you can book an appointment on my website, or you can email me through my website. Facebook is Andrea Pass Public Relations, and on LinkedIn, Andrea Pass. So make sure you follow me and engage with me, and let's have a conversation about the value of public relations and how it's going to help grow your brand awareness and drive sales.
All right, Andrea, we want to thank you for being on the show tonight. It was fantastic. What a great job you did. All the feedback we got was everybody was very happy, and they loved the topic. So, Andrea, we wish you luck. We thank you for being on tonight, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
And I'll see you Monday.
All right. What a great guest, huh? She was fantastic.
She really articulates.
Yes.
She gets the point.
She's a public relations person.
She gets the point. She does it. She talks the talk. She walks the walk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you get when you go to network meetings.
Well, it's all about
You meet
communication.
people. Yeah.
Communication is the key to everything in life.
Yeah.
And if you're not communicating properly, you get misunderstandings, you get arguments, you get people thinking that you're trying to screw them over because you're not communicating right. So that's, I think, the point of tonight is reach out to Andrea, find out how she can help you. And you know what? And if she can help you, I'm sure she's going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, you just call and ask a question. I mean,
That's all.
you don't know where it's going to lead. Just ask.
Right.
Like she said, and Darren said, and I said, if you never ask, you never know.
Exactly.
That's the deal.
So next week, we're going to be back here Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And who do we got next week?
Lorraine Duncan, I think.
I think Lorraine's on. Yep.
I
Lorraine
think
Duncan's going
Lorraine's
to be on.
Duncan.
So
Another very, very good company, good person. Also to learn. I learned a lot tonight.
I learned a ton. I learned a ton.
because I know you know everything, but
I don't know everything.
This was
I know
very,
a lot, but I don't
this
know
was-
everything.
This was very, very influential. I
right.
appreciate it.
All right, everybody, stay safe this week.
Have a great
see you
weekend.
Next week, right here on the Business Power Hour.
7 p.m. sharp.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.